Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, and I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the cloud. Friggin' what is up, dudes? Fired up to be back in the frickin' studio, laying down an ep of the pod with frickin' Aaron on the sticks. What up, Aaron?
What up?
Dude, frickin' just been at my, a little bit of my personal recent history, dude. I've mentioned on Going Deep, and I think I've mentioned on prior eps about my psychotic neighbor, Ignacio, who thought that I was, for absolutely no reason, no grounds whatsoever, other than, ones that he's created in his dome, that I am drilling through a fictional hole in my closet into his bedroom to spy on him. So he called the cops, sent them over. I had to let the cops in and look at my closet and be like, yeah, dude, no, there's no hole there, and I don't want to spy on this dude. So me and my Jeff, and honestly, it's been a little loud in our area, and our apartment gets hot, and we don't really like the carpet. So we are looking for another different apartment where we're shopping around for some new apartments, looking to upgrade a little bit, get some new nice adult amenities in there. But what I found myself doing is when I leave voicemails for these landlords, dude, I have no confidence. You can hear how tiny my dong is when I'm leaving these. You can probably just, deduce that. Because I'll start off strong. I'll start off good. I'll be like, hello, Linda. This is Strider Wilson here, calling about your property on 432 Marathon Avenue. Sick rhyme. And I'm thinking, I'm just wondering when you can, if we can come and avail. And you hear how many times I just said and everything there? It's like, come on, dude. I can't even, all I need to be saying is like, what's up, Linda? Can I set up a time to come and see the apartment? I'd like to check it out. Thank you very much. Here's my phone number. Please get back to me at your earliest convenience. All right, late. That's what I should be doing, right? But I just get in my own dome. Like I want to be charming or something while doing it. Like I want them to like me on a voicemail, which makes no sense but perfect sense from my own personality. So, we each are writing our own stories, and, maybe Ignacio's writing his own story that terrifies me that I'm going to play a role in of getting murdered and displayed on some, sort of maybe some Nazca Line scenario, displayed on some interesting, maybe he's waiting for the summer equinox or solstice and he's just going to murder me. But yeah, dude, I'm leaving these voicemails, but I found what I've been doing, and I've been getting stoked on this to make myself a little more confident on the phone, I've just started using my putter, kind of like a villain in a movie like The Mask, when Dorian hits a T drive shot off of one of his, henchmen's mouths to punish him for something like, for giving him bad information or something. I've just been using a putter and talking on speakerphone. And I even Amazoned myself one of those little McConaughey style earpieces from Tropic Thunder, and I'm just putting and just talking way too loud. And I'll just be like, hello, Jim? Is this Jim with the Beechwood property? Yes, 785 Beechwood property. Hi, Strider here, Wilson here. Yeah, just wondering if you've got in-unit washer dryer, if you have in-unit AC, what's the square footage, and when will you be available for a showing? Yeah, are you taking COVID precautions? Please call me back. Here's my number. Goodbye. And I've been drilling it and feeling really good about that. And I'll be putting. I'll just be doing that because what it is I'm displacing my mind, sort of like in the movie Amadeus when freaking straight up Mozart's writing his genius music. He's got like pool balls and he's just dinking them off the table and writing amazing notes. I need to take my own brain, my self-checking mechanism up here and just drill the phone call. I just need to be like, hello, Donna. Strider Wilson here, returning your call. I called you a week ago. I'm wondering, do you have in-unit laundry? Do not lie. I will find out. Call me back. Bye. So just doing stuff like that really makes me feel sick while I'm using my Odyssey Rossi 2 putter. It does annoy my GF though, so I've had to keep these phone calls down. I'll honestly go out to my car turn on the AC and do a lot of these phone calls. So the putter has been eliminated from the scenarios, but I will wear my tack glasses while I do it. So yeah, just fired up on that, dude, and sounding more confident on the phone. Sick. Aaron, I feel like, dude, you've got a great voice just on the sticks. I feel like you could just leave voicemails. That should be a business, like a new business of just like a legit sounding, they have answering machine things for businesses. Mm-hmm. I feel like you could do that, dude, for sure.
I mean, it's just a virtue of getting this close to the microphone. I mean, that's really all it is.
That sounds like craftsmanship to me.
Yeah. It's called the proximity effect. The closer you are to a microphone, the more sultry your tones.
Like an airline pilot gets this close.
Mm-hmm. Folks, we are traveling at 35,000 feet at 470 miles an hour. If you look to your left, you'll see the Grand Canyon.
We'll be touching down in Salt Lake a little after 4:30. We've got a nice headwind.
That's Candy in the back there. Just ignore that she's panicking.
Yep.
Everything's fine.
Everything's okay. Don't worry. That's what I would need. Just a pilot calling you, giving you reassuring advice. You go in for an interview, just have like a retired Delta pilot just call you. Hey, you've got a job interview today. You're going to nail it. You're going to go in there. They're going to ask you to describe yourself in 3 words. You're going to say determined, intelligent, and team-oriented. Yes, that's technically 4 words, but you set the rules. You tell them that afterwards. You go, I set the rules. I'm my own boss, even though I will respect you as my superior. I like to set my own rules. You're going to nail this interview. I'd feel confident after that. I'd feel good. They can't even see you, but they're going to go, you look good. You've got a lantern jaw. You're jacked. Do some calf races. Go in there. Don't take the elevator. Take the stairs. Go into an interview with a nice little sweat going on. That's a good thing to do. Go into an interview sweating a little bit. People wonder why. They'll be thinking it'll throw them off the game. They're going to want to be thinking, okay, I'm thinking about the next person going into your interview. No, they're not thinking about your competition. They're thinking immediately, why is this guy sweating? They're invested in you. That fires me up. And so what fires me up is, the Nazca lines last episode got me thinking, dude. We talked about the 7 ancient wonders of the world, and this is something that I want to do on this pod going off. Today we're going to be doing a dank off. This is called a dank off. It's going to be sick, okay? We're going to do ancient wonders of the world versus new wonders of the world, okay? And on last pod I mentioned, we don't know what they are exactly, but we know the ancient wonders of the world exist. But what are these new wonders of the world? What's going on? Well, guess what? We're going to face them off in head-to-head competition, straight up NCAA March Madness tourney style, and we're going to see who the dankest one is by the end of the episode. And now, how are we going to determine what's dank? Well, I'm going to say, how many people get the most stoked by which particular structure? Also, some legit qualifications, such as, difficulty to construct. Did it play a significant role in any big event or events? What was its purpose, dude? Let's find out, dude. These architectural sites, so we'll be looking into form and function here. You know what I mean? Like, by that I mean, could you drop a deuce and take care of bureaucratic duties as well in this structure, if called for, while also being aesthetically pleasing. It's tough. You got to jump through a lot of hoops as a piece of architecture. If it's a tomb, can it prevent cradle robbers and honor the deceased in this life and the afterlife? Basically, is it dank? So a little bit before we begin, I used a New York Times article from 2017 for the new 7 wonders of the world. These sites and monuments are popularly known as the this is, I'm getting a little sidetracked. So that's basically like the New York Times article. They surveyed tons of people. I think like millions of people, like 10 million people freaking weighed in and voted on what they thought. And then now they're UNESCO, UNESCO. Aaron, am I saying that right? UNESCO World Heritage Sites? It's not UNESCO.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And so those are the new wonders of the world. The ancient wonders of the world were laid out by Philo of Byzantium in 250 BC. So he's the dude who first claimed it. So Philo, dude, that's who we're all going off of for the ancient wonders. So here we go. before we get into the competition aspect, we're going to have to hear a little bit about them. So you guys can form your own opinions as we go along and be like, well, dude, you know what, Strider, did I disagree? I think this one's danker, but that's for each of us to decide. And I'm going to be deciding on here what's the dankest. So maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't. And guess what? That's the beauty of having these things, We're able to form opinions on them and maybe even friendships. So here we go. Number 1, new wonder of the world. The Great Wall of China, built from 220 BC to AD 1644 by several emperors and dynasties. This is a long, ongoing project. You can see it from space. Now a Chinese national symbol, the vast Great Wall was built over nearly 1,800 years. The Great Wall is actually many walls that overlap. The combined length of those layers is estimated to be between 10,000 to 20,000 kilometers. The design of the wall, which is constructed across mountain passes and ridges, makes strategic use of natural terrain. The best preserved portion of the wall runs east to west, the southeastern Liaoning province to the northwestern Gansu province. The Ming dynasty strengthened and maintained these sections from 1368 to 1644. It's just tight that one generation didn't construct all of it. It's a group effort. That's tight. Kept out, Huns, invaders. Taps into that Sinocentrism. They weren't exploring, even though they did have ships that, we talk about Columbus's vessels going, years before that. The Chinese had ships that made it, across the Indian Ocean and stuff. But they were more interested in, we got dank stuff going on here. Let's just keep it tight. So that fires me up. Also, just a little word to the weary, or I'll be doing quite a bit of reading in this episode just to lay down the facts of these things. So bear with, but also get stoked on, because it's going to be dropping some straight up dank knowledge. Okay, number 2, Taj Mahal, built 1632 to 48, commissioned by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. Over 6 million visitors in 2016. Okay, that's pretty stoke-inducing. The Taj Mahal is one of the crowning architectural achievements of the Mughal Empire, which ruled most of the Indian subcontinent from 1526 to 1761. Took around 20,000 workers and 16 years to build. The building reflects the Mughal architectural style, stressing symmetry and balance. In recent years, restoration efforts have been focused on protecting the ivory marble facades from pollution. It is a tomb/mausoleum for the emperor's wife. And then, dude, I found some sick facts here. The Taj Mahal was built by 22,000 painters, sculptors, embroiderers. So just combining all sorts of arts in one structure. That's just dankness. Legend has it that Emperor Shah intended to build another Taj Mahal in black marble across the river, but a war with his sons interrupted these plans. The changing moods of the emperor's wife are well captured by the changing hues of the mausoleum at different times of the day. It takes a pinkish hue in the morning, milky white in the evening, and a golden at night when illuminated by moonlight. Very dank. Its intricate work of art and architectural genius took 17 years to complete. The most recognizable features is the white dome at the peak of the mausoleum, often called the Onion Dome. It rises 115 feet and surrounded by 4 other domes. I think dome is probably my favorite architectural term, dude. I love talking about what's going on in my dome, dude. What's going on in these domes, dude. If it was built today, the Taj Mahal would cost the emperor about $100 million US to make it as beautiful as it is. That sounds like an underestimate. I don't know about this, dude. The materials that were used to build the Taj Mahal were transported to the construction site by a whopping 1,000 elephants. It's a lot of elephant power right there. All right, here we go. Number 3, Petra Jordan, built 4th century BC to the 2nd century AD by the Tibetan kingdom. The city of Petra was built by the Tibetans who lived in the Wadi Masu Valley for more than 4,000 years. In a spot strategically located along the early silk and spice trade routes. The city fell to the Roman Empire in AD 106. The Hellenistic facades are carved directly into the canyons and use the natural terrain as guides. Today, the monuments are vulnerable to flash flooding in the Wadi Musa and continuing erosion from wind and rain. This is the temple that you might recognize from the movie Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, just to give you a nice visual here.
Hell yeah.
Very, 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 very freaking dank. That honestly puts it high up in the dank off already, just letting you know that at this point going in. Also, Hellenistic facades means Hellenism is Alexander the Great, the spread of basically Greek culture. Colosseum, Italy. Built AD 72-82, commissioned by Flavian emperors during the first century of the Roman Empire. The Colosseum, an amphitheater which with arcades. What, dude? Arcades, dude, freaking in there? Did some dude just playing freaking Time Crisis in the Colosseum over there? Dude, just freaking posting up to getting it done, dude. Psych, dude. It's a freaking Contiguous Arches is what that is. My arcade might now be my new favorite archaeological architectural term over dome, but I don't know. And half columns. Is an example of the Roman Empire's architectural innovation. It was used for gladiatorial and hunting shows, as well as public executions for 4 centuries. After the fall of the Roman Empire, it was used temporarily as a housing complex. Earthquake damage and mining of the Colosseum's materials have left just 1/3 of the original structure in place. Restoration efforts have been stepped up since the early 19th century. Don't need internet, that's freaking sick. Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, this is freaking sick for me right here. The Colosseum, it's basically makes us question our humanity. What does it mean to be human? Is it reptilian or mammalian to be watching these guys go in there and kill each other? Or is that a part of our humanity? Are we all just homicidal maniacs with a thin veneer of civilization? I don't know. Makes you think it. Sounds like they were in the Colosseum, and sounds like we probably are in traffic as well on the 405. Here we go. Christ the Redeemer, Brazil. Built 1926-31, commissioned by the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Rio de Janeiro. Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil is the most recently constructed of the new 7 wonders, stands 125 feet tall. At the time the statue was commissioned by the Catholic Church. Yes. In order for the statue, it weighs 1,145 tons to support its massive span. It was made with reinforced concrete. It is considered the largest Art Deco sculpture in the world. Its location atop a 710-meter-tall mountain has left it vulnerable to weather and damage from lightning. One of the great restoration challenges presented by the statue is matching the color of its 6 million stone tiles. Yeah, I love just the difficulty to build it here. You know what I mean? Like, might be thinking, the stuff built way earlier was more difficult because they didn't have modern tools, but building this atop of 710 meter mountain, very difficult to achieve. A lot of big team effort. I like the team aspect going on here. I'm taking on the role of coach here. A lot of team stuff going on. Also, you got to think about this is 100% true. They talk about 20,000 workers to build this. Were those guys getting paid? Were these slaves exported from conquered other empires or kingdoms? Probably. So there's always something dark going on. There's a dark side of all history. Number 6, Chichen Itza, Mexico, built in 5th to 13th century by the Maya Toltec civilization. Over 2 million visitors in 2016. That's stoke-inducing. Chichen Itza was an ancient Maya city that eventually became part of the Maya Toltec civilization. It flourished until around AD 1200 and later joined a political alliance with the cities of the Mayapan Uxmal. It had already been abandoned by the time the Spanish arrived in the 16th century. The ruins feature religious temples that epitomize Maya innovation in astronomy and science. The Temple of Kukulkan has 365 steps, one of each day in the Hobbs solar calendar. Dang, dude. 365 days. The temple is crowned by carving Kukulkan, also known as Quetzalcoatl. That sounds familiar, Quetzalcoatl. I've heard that name.
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl. Thank you, Aaron. That's why we need you, dude. Aaron, anytime I'm butchering something, just jump in if you got it, dude. I need that.
Culiacan.
Dude, that's why you're a freaking straight up legend,
I went
dude.
to San Diego State. We're the Aztecs.
Beast, dude.
And so was my high school. So.
Beast, dude. Yeah, I went to UC San Diego as a Triton, dude. I wish I was in Aztec State, dude. Just fire parties, good times. One time I went to a Halloween party at San Diego State, dude. I was having a good time. I think I was wearing a Buzz Lightyear costume, trying to be ironic, and which isn't even true irony, but in college that's ironic, because it's like I'm a little kid costume, but I'm not a little kid. Probably the same reason a lot of college dudes grow mustaches. I don't know. It sounds like I got a lot of vitriol going on here. Anyway, I'm cruising up to the party and this guy goes, "Hey, dude, do you know where you're at?" I was like, yeah, I'm at this party. I'm about to go. He goes, "No, dude, do you know where you're at?" And I was like, okay. So just was, greeted with some animosity. Stuck with me to this day.
I wore, speaking of Indiana Jones, I wore a full Indiana Jones costume one year to school.
Oh, that's a great call.
Was it though? Because I was like the only one in costume.
Look, you were doing what you wanted to do, what your heart desired, and it was to be indie, and that fires me up, dude. If anyone's judging you for that, it's because they got their own insecurities and they're projecting it on you. Let me ask you this question. You probably didn't bring the pistol with you because you went to school, but did you bring the whip?
It came with a whip, yeah. It was not as cool as the real thing. It was more of a sexy dungeon type whip, which is not what I would have preferred.
Yeah. You want something that's sturdy that you could, get out of a temple and with, avoid
out
a
of the
boulder.
parking garage or whatever.
Yes, yes. Something you could skip class with and make your way down to friggin', I don't know. You would probably go to like Five Guys, but I'd go to In-N-Out. Number 7, Machu Picchu, Peru. Built in the mid-15th century by the Incas. Machu Picchu is a pre-Columbian Incan settlement, one of the few that remain intact. Situated on the eastern slope of the Andes Mountains, it was probably built as a royal retreat for the Incan Emperor, I'm going to butcher this, Pakuikti Inca Yapaniki. Not intended to be visited by the masses. Its use from the mid-15th century to the mid-16th century, it was eventually abandoned, although the reason is not clear. Yeah, dude, it's tough to get to even with modern stuff. Like, you got to be in pretty good shape to go up there. Although the Incan Empire was conquered by the Spanish in 1532, the conquistadors did not find the site. It was eventually discovered in 1911. The architecture was integrated into the natural terrain, its walls and terraces cut into the rock. Today is reached either by hiking up the Incan Trail through the Andes or by train. Sick, dude, sick. Okay. Also, it fires me up that the Incas would basically invented cocaine, dude. They would just chew on cocoa leaves, not cocoa, which is chocolate. Which, by the way, a lot of the diet, I read this, that we eat today, like 75% of the world's diet includes like chocolate and corn, which were given to us by the natives of the South America and North American continents, which is sick, dude. They give us chocolate, dude. Fires me up. And then they give us cocaine, dude. Got us through the 80s, dude. That's sick. Basically, just, they're friggin', yeah, it's just tight, dude. Okay. Those are the new wonders of the world. All right? Now we're cruising. Now we got to get to the ancient wonders of the world before we can face off. You got to hear a little bit about them, okay? Here we go. I'm blasting through this. Number 1, the Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt. We all know this. It's friggin' sick, dude. I think it was the largest structure like for a long, long time. For like, it contains more than 2 million stone blocks that weigh 2 to 30 tons each. Khufu is the largest of the pyramids, and it was the tallest building in the world at the time, and I think honestly until the 19th century, when a larger like church was built somewhere in Europe. So it's freaking sick, dude. It's freaking sick. Sick temple complex. Very, very freaking dank. Or not temple, I should say. These are tombs. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. According to ancient Greek poets, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were built near the Euphrates River in modern-day Iraq by Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II, which would be, honestly, I'm looking how it's spelled, and I'm fired up on myself that I pronounce it maybe okay. That's a sick internet password.
That's the name of the ship in the Matrix.
Yes, the Nebuchadnezzar. Dude,
yeah.
That's how I'm able to say it. That's a good call. And honestly, dude, it's computer-oriented, dude, and I was saying Nebuchadnezzar would be a sick password, like Nebuchadnezzar 69 or 420 with like an exclamation mark would be a sick. No one's getting into your computer with that, dude. They can't spell it, dude.
No way. Hacker-proof.
Yep. Chad might be able to spell it, dude. The guy's got weird, strange, incredible abilities, dude, to spell. It's just a genius. I call it weird, but it's his genius. Anyway, they were made around 6000 BC. The gardens were said to have been planted as high as 75 feet in the air on a huge square brick terrace that was laid out in steps like the theater. The king allegedly built the towering gardens to ease his lover Amatis' homesickness for the natural beauty of her home in Media, the northwestern part of modern-day Iran. Later, writers described how people could walk underneath the beautiful gardens, which rested on tall stone columns. Modern scientists have deduced that the gardens, in order to survive, they would have had to be irrigated using a system consisting of a pump, water wheel, and cisterns to carry water from the Euphrates many feet into the air. Though there are multiple accounts of the gardens in both Greek and Roman literature, none of them firsthand, so all secondary and beyond resources. And no mention of the gardens has been found in Babylonian cuneiform inscriptions. As a result, the most modern scholars believe that the existence of the gardens was part of an inspired and widely believed but still fictional tale. So they're saying these things might not exist, but the idea of them. So does that knock them, according to my dank off? But I don't know. Ideas are dank, dude. It's where everything starts. So I'm still fired up on them. Statue of Zeus at Olympia, Greece. The famed statue of Zeus, the king of the gods in Greek mythology, was crafted by the Athenian sculptor Phidias and completed and placed in the temple of Zeus at Olympia, site of ancient Olympics, dude. Sick, dude. Love that, dude. Bro's out there just freaking getting stuff done, dude. Just making moves, dude. Athletic competition, sick. Around the mid-5th century BC, the statue depicted the god of thunder, seated bare-chested at a wooden throne. Holding up the throne's armrest were 2 carved sphinxes, mythical creatures with heads with the head and a chest of a woman, the head of a lion, chest of a woman, the body of a lion, and the wings of a bird. Let me take that back. The frickin' sphinxes, dude. They're mythical creatures with the head and chest of a woman, the body of a lion, and the wings of a bird. That sounds freaking like a sick creature, dude. The statue of Zeus was richly decorated with gold and ivory. At 40 feet, it was so tall that its head nearly touched the top of the temple. According to the legend, the sculptor Phidias asked Zeus for a sign of his approval after finishing the statue. Soon after, the temple was struck by lightning. It's tight. Yeah, so that's sick, dude. It was destroyed by a fire in 462. I'm just fired up that it wasn't destroyed by an earthquake. Seems like earthquakes are freaking murking all of these ancient wonders. And then I did look at it, dude. If you're driving, don't look it up right now on your phone, but take a look. And there's a little bit of a knock here for me because Zeus, honestly, I mean, Phidias is talented, but he did not, in my opinion, make Zeus look that jacked. He kind of looks like Christian Bale got skinny for a role here. Like he's ripped, but like also vegan, so he doesn't really power lift. And honestly, the Olympics were powerlifting. That's where we got it from. So, maybe for accuracy, in my opinion here, I'd like for Zeus to have been a little more jacked. Just saying. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. There was actually more than one temple at Artemis. There are a series of several altar temples that were destroyed and restored at the same time in Ephesus, a Greek port city on the west coast of modern-day Turkey. The most fabulous of these structures were 2 marble temples built around 550 BC and 350 BC, respectively. Apart from Olympus, the sun never looked on anything so grand. That's a quote from the writer Antipater of Sidon. Antipater of Sidon. Yeah, I've heard of that, dude. We got to probably do an ep on this guy. Freaking historian. The original temple of Artemis was designed by the Cretan architect Chrysophon and his son Metagenes. I mean, all these Greek names are real tough. The building burned on July 21st. Another fire, 350 BC, according to the legend, the same night that Alexander the Great was born. So July 21st, 356. Good trivia. It was torched by a Greek citizen named Herostratus, who claimed he burned the marvel so that his name would be known to history. He was put to death and the government declared it illegal to utter his name. Yeah, dude. What a schmoll, bro. You just do something violent so people will remember you. Not chill, dude. And honestly, I feel bad about butchering a lot of these other names, but I don't feel bad about butchering that Herostratus' name, dude. Even though it just broke the law right there by uttering it, dude. Broke the ancient law there. So not chill, dude. Here we go. Oh, another fun fact. The temple was rebuilt, but then it was destroyed by Ostrogoths again in AD 262. Just friggin'... Every time I hear Ostrogoths, I just imagine a bunch of like dudes in ancient armor just vaping, wearing eyeliner, just cruising down and just not returning their parents' voicemails and just murking Romans, dude. Yeah, dude. Number 5, Mausoleum at Helicarnassus, located in what is now southeastern Turkey. Turkey's just crushing it right now. The Mausoleum at Helicarnassus was a tomb built by Artemisia for her husband, Mausolus, the king of Carnia in Asia Minor. After his death in 353 BC, Mausolus was also Artemis's brother, and according to legend, she was so grief-stricken at the passing that she mixed his ashes with water and drank them in addition to ordering the mausoleum's construction. So there was definitely some edgy stuff going on here. You got brothers and sisters getting married, drinking ashes. I mean, they're the monarchs. They're setting the rules. It's chill. Hey, whatever floats your boat. I'm not going to judge, okay? And you gave us a dank temple out of it. And honestly, dude, There's dudes drinking weirder stuff nowadays. So, who knows? Sick. Mausoleum was made entirely of marble, 135 feet high. Yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful sight. Check these things out. If you're listening to this app, dude, give yourself a little visual aid while you're looking too. Might not have been a bad idea, but that we did, kind of like we did with the surrealist art episode. But you know what? You live, you learn. We're cruising. We're cruising on to the Colossus of Rhodes. Was an enormous bronze sculpture of the sun god Helios, built by the Rhodians over 12 years in the 3rd century BC. The city was the target of the Macedonian siege early in the 4th century BC, and according to legend, the Rhodians sold the tools and the equipment left behind by the Macedonians to pay for the Colossus. Designed by the sculptor Chares, the statue was, at 100 feet, the tallest of the ancient world. It was completed around 280 BC, as far as statues go, and stood for 60 years until it was toppled in an earthquake. Freaking earthquakes. It's never rebuilt. Hundreds of years later, Arabs invaded Rhodes and sold the remains of the statue as scrap metal. Because of this, archaeologists do not know much about the exact location of the statue or what it looked like. Most believe that it depicted the sun god standing naked while he lifted a torch with one hand and held a spear in the other. It was once believed that the statue stood with one leg on each side of a harbor, but most scholars now agree that the statue's legs were most likely built close together to support its immense weight. Makes sense, but I like to imagine this dude's just spread out naked, just hanging dong, dude, as people are cruising into the city just saying, what up? I mean, maybe even it's even an erect dong. We could only be so lucky. It's used as like a sundial, so it's form and function here. I mean, that just really gets my imagination going. It gets me fired up.
Yeah, dude, that's the spear he's holding.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, dude. Exactly. One man's spear, another man's dong. Thank you. Reminds me of that great line from Braveheart, from that like wily Irish dude. He's like, William Wallace is like, how they have cavalry? 600 at least, we have none. What are we going to do? And William Wallace is like, we make spears. Long. Twice as long as a man. And then the Irish dude's like, or maybe it's Brendan Gleeson's like, some men are longer than others. And they all go, ha, 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 ha. Dude, when you're watching an epic movie and guys make kind of bad jokes, but they're all so invested in something and they all love each other, it makes the joke hit way harder. That's what that joke is right there. But it's also just a good dong joke. And then finally, the 7th ancient wonder of the world, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, Egypt, was located on a small island called Pharos near the city of Alexandria, designed by the Greek architect Sastratos and completed around 270 BC during the reign of Ptolemy II. That's an Egyptian ruler. The lighthouse helped guide the Nile River ships in and out of the city's busy harbor. Archaeologists have found the ancient coins on which the lighthouse was depicted, so they get a sense of what it looks like, and from them deduced that the structure had 3 tiers, a square level at the bottom, an octagonal level in the middle, and a cylindrical top. Above that stood a 16-foot statue, most likely of Ptolemy II or of Alexander the Great, for whom the city was named. Although estimates of the lighthouse's height have ranged from 200 to 600 feet, most modern scholars believe it was about 380 feet tall. The lighthouse was gradually destroyed during a series of earthquakes, freaking earthquakes, dude, from 956 to 1323. Some of the remains have since been discovered at the bottom of the Nile. Sick, dude. Dude, go watch that movie Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and Robert Dafoe, dude. I'm all about freaking my dog, Robert Pattinson, dude, and I love Dafoe, dude. Defoe's face, dude, like my dog JT quote, dude, says it has inherent stakes. If Dafoe was to get mad at you, dude, you'd be terrified. Like, dude, if that dude, I mentioned this an episode ago, of the bro just walking around in the neighborhood in a Michael Myers outfit saying that's his quarantine mask, not chill. If he would have pulled that mask off and it would have been William Dafoe's face under there, I mean, I'm not sleeping for the rest of my life.
No way.
No freaking way, dude.
No way.
All right, dude. So it's a lot to remember, a lot to take in, a tall order. But I'm going to sort of go ahead and just match up I'm going to go playoff style here. So I'm going to do it like this, like NFC versus AFC, even though in the beginning I said it was going to be March Madness style. But I'm like, I think the bracketeering should be, the NFC can be like the new ancient wonders competing in their own conference. And then the AFC can be like what I shouldn't say new ancient. The new wonders is like the NFC, and then the ancient wonders is like the AFC. They're going to have their own respective playoff brackets, and then the champions from that of like the best ancient wonder is going to face off against the best new wonder, and that's going to be the straight up freaking Super Bowl of dankness winner in our dank off here. So first, we're going to start off with the ancient wonders because they came first. Let's just go by time here. And in round one, I've faced up the Temple of Artemis versus the Mausoleum at Helicarnassus. And I'm going to give this one to the Mausoleum at Helicarnassus just because of, the edgy lovemaking that was going on between the sister and the brother and the drinking of the ashes. I mean, I'm not hating on the Temple of Artemis here because it was burnt down by Schmoll, so that just is unchill. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Mausoleum. That's going to move on to the quarterfinals. Up next, we have the Lighthouse of Alexandria versus the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. And for me, I got to go Lighthouse of Alexandria. The Hanging Gardens sound sick, but they might not have even existed. We have evidence of the Lighthouse of Alexandria, and it's just kind of like the basic trivia question, I feel like, that everyone gets. So we're going to go with that one. That's moving on to the quarterfinals here. Then we're going to have the Great Pyramid of Giza versus the Statue of Zeus at Olympia. And I may have showed my hand here, but I'm going to go with the Great Pyramid of Giza is going to win. Khufu is going to move on because, like I mentioned earlier, the Zeus statue just wasn't jacked enough for me. I would have liked it to be more jacked. Maybe it would have had to feature more calves. Not hating on, Christian Bale from like Rescue Dawn, but it's like, I mean, dude, I want a substantial jacked dude, which is the exact reason why Colossus of Rhodes is getting a bye and it's moving directly to the next round because I imagine, hanging dong, legs spread, even though scholars believe that the legs weren't spread, I'm going to go ahead and say they were in my mind because there's no evidence really just suggest that they weren't. It makes sense, and it's logical to suggest they were closer together, but I'm going to go ahead and, take some liberties here. So, in the next round in these playoffs, we are going to have... Actually, maybe I should move on. Aaron, should I finish off this bracket, or should I do the first round of the new wonders?
I say finish it off.
Okay. I love that idea. And then I'm going to get your opinions here in this round. I wanted to get through that first round, but I want to hear what you think. And honestly, we can maybe even adapt what I've gone with, depending on if you throw out some fire knowledge here. So, quarterfinals. In the ancient wonders of the world, we have the Mausoleum at Helicarnassus versus the Lighthouse at Alexandria. And I went with an upset, and I put the Mausoleum at Helicarnassus. I'm just pretty fired up by the, sister wanting to build. Anytime you erect something for, in a tomb for a loved one that's gone, that fires me up. What do you think, Aaron? What would you have gone with? Would you have gone with the Lighthouse over the Mausoleum?
No, I go Mausoleum.
I love that. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay, then on the other side of the bracket, we've got the Pyramid of Giza versus the Colossus of Rhodes. This is tough. How did they build these pyramids? They're moving 30-ton stones. I mean, they had to use probably a ton of elephants. They used, frickin' 1,000 for the Taj Mahal, but they're using tens of thousands for these pyramids. They still exist. I think there is a scene there in Indiana Jones. Aren't they at the pyramids in the beginning of like Temple of Doom or something? Not Temple of Doom, but Lost Ark or something.
They don't
Maybe they're not those.
There. No.
They're not there.
They're in Egypt, but not there.
And I'm like, dude, so they're sick. They're in movies I like. But I had to go with Colossus of Rhodes because I, once again, was just so fired up with, Helios, this sun god, just freaking straight up chilling. I mean, I even like to imagine his beeholes being tanned Josh Brolin style. And it's just really fired me up. What's your take, Aaron?
I'm going to have to disagree, man. I think the fact that it's still standing.
Yeah.
Like the Elton John song. I'm still standing.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Maybe let's just go ahead and move the Pyramid of Giza up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Aaron. You're going with your call here. We're doing the audible. And then in the semis, okay, this is the freaking straight up AFC finals here. This is the ancient wonders of the world finals here before they're going to the Super Bowl to face whoever will know. We'll find out. Mausoleum of Helicarnassus versus the Great Pyramid of Giza. Aaron, you take this one. I mean, what are you thinking, dude?
I mean, there's just something that's got to be said for the construction that lasts, you know? I mean, they had these, Giza probably had those same earthquakes that the lighthouse had.
Yep.
You know, it's still there.
Yep.
That's how well made it was.
They still stand. They were probably robbed. I was reading something that says the tombs were probably robbed within the first 250 years. That's why they have all the booby traps. They've inspired mummy movies, which are so sick.
Yeah.
You know, Imhotep, Anaxunamun, and just freaking. So yeah, honestly, Aaron, I'm so fired up. That's why you're the legend. And I'm even going to say it's going to take the cake over the mausoleum at Helicarnassus here, and we're going to go winner, ancient wonder of the world, Giza.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's find out about the new wonders. We'll fly through round one. Round one, Machu Picchu versus Taj Mahal. Difficult. Once again, it's a mausoleum. You know, I got fired up on this, but there was no ash drinking and edgy lovemaking between a brother and sister, which is so prominent on, you know, if you go on Pornhub now, which I don't know who's into that, but apparently someone is. They've even retitled old videos, which I've seen that aren't that as that. It's fictitious. I'm not into it.
No.
I'll only watch it 2 or 3 times and then I'm done. So I'm going Machu Picchu just because my GF and I have talked about going on there on a nice trip, you know, when things open up again. So I'm going Machu Picchu, dude. It's staying hidden, the difficulty to get there, the fact that the Incas were doing, you know, not doing blow, but they were chewing coca leaves, that fires me up. I'm going Machu Picchu.
I'm going to have to disagree with you here.
Whoa, you like Taj Mahal?
I like Taj Mahal. I think it's better looking. It is beautiful. It's still in one piece. It's in an easier location, probably.
It's more accessible.
They didn't have more elephants to bring stuff up hills. But yeah, I think the Taj Mahal is a pretty beautiful place.
Damn. All right. We're going to go with what you call. You've convinced me. I'm fired up. I am fired up. But the way Machu Picchu fits into the cliffs, they use the terrain. You know, it's kind of beautiful. But it also was kind of this, maybe that ancient king being a schmoll, being like, this is my place. I go here. No one else gets to cruise here, even though that's not confirmed. Taj Mahal is beauty. We all know it. Yeah, 6 million visitors. That's very stoke-inducing. All right, we're going Taj Mahal. It's moving on. Okay, then we got Chichen Itza, the Temple of Chichen Itza, the Mayan Temple in Mexico versus Petra and Jordan. I love Mayan culture. I went to Tulum with my GF, was fired up to be there. We went in some cenotes, which are like underground freshwater caves. They're so sick.
Yep.
But I got to go Petra Jordan just because of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The way it's used in that film is so sick. It's very dank. So,
the Canyon of the Crescent Moon.
Yeah, exactly. And the Canyon of the Crescent Moon. Dude, fire call.
I mean, God, I do love the Last Crusade, but the idea that you can go to Chichen Itza and then get tacos.
Fuck.
Damn.
That's so fucking true. That's so true. My mom went to Petra Jordan. She took a picture next to a camel, which was sick, but I do not believe she had any sort of ahi tacos while she was there. So I think, once again, we're going to go with Aaron. Aaron, we're going with you. This is why. This is why we do this. When 2 minds, greater than 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Continuing out the first round, we've got the Great Wall of China versus Christ the Redeemer, Brazil.
Oof. Now this is a tough one.
This is tough.
This is a tough matchup.
I'm going Great Wall of China. I'm going Great Wall of China because the collaborative effort, the fact that you can see it from space, it was horrible. It was prominently featured in a terrible movie with Matt Damon. I even forget the name of the movie.
The Great Wall.
Yeah, it's called The Great Wall.
Yeah.
Yep, that's probably
I watched it on a plane. Yeah.
That's the only place that should ever be watched.
Yeah.
Only place. Yeah, I went with this over Christ the Redeemer, maybe because it was built so recently, even though we are talking new wonders.
I mean, it's super cool. There's almost no knock on it, but man, it's not. The Great Wall is so massive.
It's so massive. It's so huge. It's a reason that you do go to China. I don't necessarily go to Brazil to check out Christ the Redeemer. I'd look at it and I'd be like sick, but I'm really there because I want to experience like Carnival or watch some legit soccer or, maybe in a different life, indulge in, sexual tourism with some, French Legionnaire or some strange expats. Or maybe be a cop and arrest guys doing that. That'd probably be the more just way to go about it. Go there and solve some crimes. Maybe learn some of that. What was the dance fighting that?
Capoeira.
Capoeira. Go learn some capoeira.
Capoeira.
Yeah. Thank you. Another good internet password, capoeira. And then I gave the Colosseum a bye. In this round, it's going to move directly on.
That's fair.
It still, stands to a degree. The movie Gladiator is so sick. It does tap into a dark side of our human nature, but one that we need to recognize,
Mm-hmm.
How can we have something under control if we don't even know where it is,
Mm-hmm.
or tap into it when we need to. Like if, Ignacio breaks into my apartment, tries to murk me in the middle of the night. Okay, so now we're going on to the quarterfinals. And we have the Taj Mahal versus Chichen Itza.
Oof.
What are we doing?
Oof. Man. I mean, you can't knock either one for cuisine.
Correct.
I think they're both really good.
Yeah, that's a great fucking call. I dropped the F-bomb unnecessarily. I got so fired up by it.
I mean, I think it comes down to, oh man. I mean, the Taj Mahal is in better shape. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, so you're going form. You're going structure here. You're going back to the basics. I like that. That's when you're making a tough call.
Yeah.
Let's get to the basics.
I haven't finished.
Okay,
it is in better shape.
Okay.
But where would I rather be? Oof.
Location.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all architecture, just like when I'm looking for my apartment, when I'm with my putter, I'm going, what's your location, Frank? Oh, the address is listed on your website. Thank you. Oh, I could have just emailed you to set up an appointment time. Thank you.
Oops, I should have actually paid for West Side Rentals.
Yes, I should have signed up for a membership or asked one of my friends for their code. Hopefully it's not a difficult one like Nebuchadnezzar 69. Okay. I think we got to go Chichen Itza, Mayan Temple, moving on to the next round over the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
Just because of location, just because you can get dank tacos, and the weather down there is so dank. It's spring break weather. It's just, honestly, it's my opinion, better than a Mediterranean climate. You don't need a towel. You can be soaking wet at midnight and be fine. Come out of the ocean or a cenote. Okay, and then we got the Great Wall of China versus the Colosseum, which had a bye.
Oof. I've been to the Colosseum.
Same. Was lucky enough to go. Sick.
I didn't love it.
I know. It was kind of smaller, and then I was like, how do they flood this puppy? But the fact that they flooded it was so sick to do like pirate battles.
Mm-hmm.
That gets me so amped up. But we are watching guys murder each other against their own will.
Yeah.
But then again, there's soldiers on the Great Wall, and who knows what armies are involved. And
Sure.
Their choice to be involved in that. I don't want to get into our 21st century view too much. Although it's difficult not to. We're talking about crushing ahi tacos at Chichen Itza, where Mayas, I believe. I don't know if the Mayas, I know the Aztecs did human sacrifice. Did the Mayas? I think they did. I would need to look that up.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the idea of the Great Wall just being this giant defensive thing.
Yeah, it's function.
And built over so many generations.
Mm-hmm. There's like thousands of bodies in there from workers just having fallen out of their desks and died in there. Yeah, you can see it from space, dude. Aliens are cruising around, they can see it and be like, whoa, it's a great wall down there. Yeah. That wall is friggin' great.
Now,
then they'll scope the Nazca lines too.
It would definitely win if it was called the Dank Wall.
Oh my God, if it was called the Dank Wall of China, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This whole episode would be done. We would have been a 30-second episode. Done.
Yeah.
The fact that you can make its name the Dank Wall of China is reason enough to move it on to the next round over the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Semis.
Plus, the Colosseum isn't like the only Colosseum that ever was, you know?
True. There's a Colosseum in Pompeii.
Yeah.
Where my brother and I, when we were there, we wrestled each other out there. He pinned me. My brother Greg, he pinned me in front of a lot of tourists from all over the world. People from all over the world saw me get pinned. Hurt. It was captured on camera.
Yeah.
I should try to find that footage.
You can't get any great gelato at the Great Wall.
True.
But you're also not there for it. So I'd go with the Great Wall.
That's true. But you can maybe get some friggin' dank Chinese food.
Yeah.
Maybe some, I don't know if they have dumplings in that region, but dumplings are dank. Some dank dumplings. Fired up on that. But you're talking dessert foods. I was in China. I was in Guiyang and Guizhou. Dessert foods, not heavily featured.
Yeah.
But actually a lot of great bread spots. There's a great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really delicious breads. Okay, so we're going Great Wall, dude. Okay, so then we got the Great Wall facing off now against
Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza. Yep, thank you, Aaron. Because I mixed these up. We're making calls. I got my notes here, but they don't mean nothing. This is tough. Something that can be referred to as the Dank Wall versus somewhere I can get dank tacos. I can get dank. I can bronze.
Yep.
I'm basically on spring break.
Yep.
Forever versus a wall that's built for great defense. And if I did go up in like a Tesla style, layman style tourist orbit around the earth, I could see the Great Wall from up there. Difficult to access, tough to consider even doing. I think I might go with Chichen Itza and do the Mayan temple.
Yeah, there's all the science involved.
Yep. The Mayans are underappreciated. You know, we're always talking about Rome and stuff, and they had achieved many of the same things independently on another continent. So, yeah, I like going with the Mayas here. So then in our finals, we've got the Mayas, we've got the temple at Chichen Itza versus the Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid at Giza.
It's basically temple versus temple.
Yep.
In some ways.
Yeah. They even say that the temple, the pyramid was more terraced, but then later they put in like some limestone or something like that to make it more triangular.
Smooth it out.
Yeah, smooth it out. Like the original version probably had terrace and it had like a gold pinnacle. Should be freaking sick to see from miles around.
So Giza's older. It's got that going for it.
Giza's older. It stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't it... there's 3 pyramids. Am I thinking of the right thing? The Great Pyramids?
Yep, the Great Pyramids.
Okay, so there's 3 of them, right?
Khufu is the big one, yeah.
Yeah. And aren't they somehow situated via the stars or something like that?
That's a great call. Yeah, now we're getting into the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They are their longitude and latitude like is matched up perfectly. There's even like energy in that area. This is more like ancient alien stuff, but like there is even like the water in that area is like more alkalized properly. Like there's a reason they're there, you know. But I think also there's reasoning we might not understand why the temple at Chichen Itza is in that exact area, you know.
Yeah.
But the fact that we know a little bit more about the Giza might be
or do you love mystery? You know?
I do love mystery. I do love mystery. It's one of the only, you know, like a good thriller or something like that is what my GF and I always agree upon when watching a movie. You know, I want violence. I want boning and killing in my films. I will settle for singing and dancing in my entertainment. But, you know, I do want, you know, more Roman. I should say more Roman in my longing when it comes to, or my propensity to choose films. I want boning and killing. But thrillers, you don't necessarily, it's not as gratuitous, but it's involved around a mystery. My GF loves mysteries. My GF also loves rom-coms. I love a good rom-com, don't get me wrong. It's got a fire soundtrack like Grosse Pointe Blank, even though, Aaron, you don't like that.
No, but it did have a good soundtrack.
Thank you.
I mean, where do you think more boning occurred?
That's a great question. It's a great question to ask at this moment in time. It's perfect. I gotta say more boning occurred. These are both ancient empires. They were around for a long time. So boning occurred around them a long time. I gotta say maybe Chichen Itza though, because it is a spring break style area and boning goes down at spring break.
Yeah.
And I think for that fact alone, it might take the cake, which is also a sick rhyme.
Yeah.
Takes the cake because of spring break.
Still, and still got the taco factor.
Yep. And I mean, honestly, that might be my, what do they say, desert island food. If I'm, stranded on an island, I get to choose one food for the rest of my life. Like I can't just say, oh, Mexican food, because then I get all this dank food, I get enchiladas. I get, I can get dank like the sandwiches. I'm blanking on the name right now. It starts,
tortas.
Tortas, like a dank torta. But it's like, no, you just got to choose one dish from like if I'm choosing Italian, I can't get beef braciole and Parmesan, chicken parm. I think I might go carne asada tacos, dude. Well, I'm talking all the accoutrement. I'm talking guac. I'm talking a side of black beans. I'm talking, corn tortillas. I'm talking, the spices, everything. What are you going with, Aaron? One dish.
Desert island food. God.
Dish.
I mean, I just love pizza so much.
I'm not going to fault you for that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I love that. Where pizza from where? What's on it?
Oof. Like
you're going thin crust. You're going Chicago style. You're going New York.
I'm going thin crust. Yeah. I'm going New York style.
Love it.
Nice big
slice of
foldable. Yeah. Pepperoni, sausage maybe. Meatballs.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
Maybe a little chili peppers on there. Yeah. That sounds really, really fucking good, dude. I'd like to be stranded next to your island so we could swim back and forth and break the rules.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude.
Although if you're going to Italy, I recommend avoid the pizza. Just do pasta.
Yeah.
You'll never have better pasta.
So amazing. Yeah, I remember being in Pompeii, like just so freaking famished, dude, because all my European trip was I just wanted to be back at home, hanging with my boys on the beach. But, dude, I was just, going from museum to museum, just starving on a bus, hanging out, dude, smelling tourists' body odor, slammed in these, things, just getting knowledge spread on me, which was sick, dude. It impacted who I am today. But honestly, dude, kind of nightmarish. But I remember just being so hungry at Pompeii and just having the dankest bowl of pasta after. So dank. And also just seeing dogs with, but big titties. There were so many dogs, with big titties. I'd never seen that. I was like, this is an Italian thing? What's going on? Like, these pregnant dogs. I think it's because we just neuter a lot of the dogs in the U.S. and stuff, and they're like bred, Like, there's definitely dogs with big titties in the U.S. I'm not knocking them, okay? But not knocking on their knockers. Sorry, I'm getting inappropriate now. My GF's not going to like this. But I'm not cutting any of it out. It's all staying right where it is. I'm flawed, and it's got to be out there, okay? It's got to be out there. But yeah, when you go to Pompeii, definitely check out the plaster casted, people that were, and you can capture a city as it was in the time because it was destroyed so massively and then buried under the ash and preserved nicely. But definitely scope the modern dogs with big, huge breasts walking around. Interesting. All right, dude, sick. So yeah, we're giving it to the Mayan temple, dude. Chichen Itza. Probably saying it wrong, but yeah, it's freaking sick, dude. Let's take a few questions and hop out of here. How long are we going? Oh, we're going almost an hour. Maybe just time for one. We just can do one question, then that's got to be it. What up, Beast? Just thought you should know that I love to hear about the dank history of Romans and Greeks and stuff. Did you know that in ancient Rome, people would wear dongs on necklaces as good luck charm and to ward off unchill spirits? Just thought that was a dope factoid. Later, Simon. And I love that Simon spelled later with an 8. It's amazing. That's a good internet password style thing to do right there. Hell yeah, dude. That's sick knowledge. I love that. I didn't know that. Aaron, did you know that?
I did not, but I'm into that coming back.
Yeah, I think that's a great freaking call. I know I went to like a bathhouse, a Roman bathhouse in England, actually, when we were going to see Stonehenge, because Rome made it out as that far. The Roman Empire stretched out there, and people would write curses on the bathhouse. Like, you could pay money and get like a curse. You could hire people who were good at writing curses, like, you know, somehow people like hire people to run their Twitter handles and Instagrams today, but for curses, and write them on the temples. Kind of interesting too. So, but yeah, I love this dong necklace thing. All right, dude, that's a great way to end it. Fired up on that. Aaron, thank you for your input, dude. Always, dude, freaking invaluable resource, dude, to have. Fired up, dude. Thank you guys so much, dude. Email with more stuff, questions, and, you know, freaking stuff you're interested in hearing about at StriderWilsonShreds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and freaking stay stoked, dude. Let